In business tonight, the government has announced plans to mobilize resources from various sources to finance the proposed new infrastructure fund, which aims to support major development projects across the country and revive those that have stalled. But even as the president turns to the private sector, capital markets, public-private partnerships, and the national budget to finance the proposed fund, NTV's Ruth Sarmoy-Chesang reports that questions have emerged over the necessity of creating a new fund despite the existence of the consolidated fund, as well as concerns over the risk of corruption.
In the count of three.
Barely a month after President William Ruto unleashed his new strategy to boost the country's economy by building and completing stalled development projects, by formulating the National Infrastructure Fund, fresh details have emerged on how this new proposal will be implemented.
We are going to look for resources in different ways, using the budget, using privatization, using capital markets, using private-public partnerships, so that we can develop sufficient roads in all the areas of the Republic of Kenya.
According to Ruto, this 4 trillion shilling fund will finance energy, roads and water projects, both new and those that had stalled, since the 700 billion shillings budgeted for development in the current financial year is insufficient.
We need minimum another 10,000 kilometers of new tarmac in Kenya. And we need 1.5 trillion money to be able to drive that program.
Speaking during the launch of the 10-year rehabilitation campaign for the Mau Forest Complex in Kuresoi North, Nakuru County, Ruto announced that the construction of the Mau Summit Rironi Road, which is set to be commissioned in November this year, is likely to benefit from such financing arrangements.
Na tunaanzisha mwezi ujao kwa sababu tumeweka mpango maalum ambayo inaleta private sector katika ujenzi wa barabara. Kama tungesema tuweke pesa ya budget ya serikali katika hiyo barabara, hatungejenga.
The head of state announced that the road would not end with the expansion of the initial planned 170-kilometer stretch, but will also extend to Kericho, Kisumu, Eldoret, and Malaba. And while the expansion is set to ease off traffic and boost economy through easy access of goods and services, the planned tolling has caused a stir among Kenyans. Vincent Tanui, an economist at the Center for Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance, argues that the proposed toll would amount to double taxation.
They have said that they're going to implement around 8 shillings per kilometer for that stretch of the road. So people who will be using that particular road will be required to pay around almost 2,000 shillings to be able to, if you are using the road from Nairobi to Nakuru. So that is a huge amount in terms of the money you are paid. And this is actually a double taxation because you have already contributed to fuel maintenance levy, and also you are going to be charged for you to use that road.
Tanui has also questioned the transparency of the proposed National Infrastructure Fund and expressed concern that if the fund is financed through borrowing, it could lead to higher taxes.
So for us, I think we are still skeptical from the fact that there is an aspect of delayed development in many of the infrastructure projects. So the question we are asking ourselves is, where is this money coming from in the first place? Things are not going to be easy for citizens because you are raising money from borrowing. We need to pay that money, and that means there is no surplus for development. And also there may be an aspect of increased taxes.
The president now says he will be banking on Parliament to see to it that this new law is brought to life. Even so, the ghost of corruption, embezzlement, and what some have described as misuse of public funds continue to haunt the government.
I think in their first year, they had said they are going to cut about 300 billion. But I think what you have seen instead is rising in expenditure, especially in the office of the president and the deputy president. A lot of money has increased even by 50%.
Ruth Sarmoy-Chesang, NTV.
Wanakunywa fortified porridge.